Hi, I'm Colton Tycrope here at Porsche Center Calgary, and with me today is our 2019 718 Boxster GTS, which is kind of a mouthful, but also a really cool car. So this one is agate gray, as you can see, agate gray metallic, I should say, with a full black leather interior. The full leather meaning that not only are the seats leather, but also the upper dash as well as the lower dash, all the armrests, all the doors, pretty much everything in there. It's a really nice touch. I love the full leathers. Now, I should comment on a few things before I delve into the options. Being a GTS, it's the most powerful Boxster currently available, 365 horsepower. Uses a 2.5 liter turbocharged 4, and very, very quick. But above that, because horsepower wise compared to an S, it's only about a 15 horsepower jump, but what you're really paying for is all the other extra stuff that's standard on the car that you would, if you're buying a Boxster S, you'd have to option and tick all these extra boxes. One of them are these wheels, Carrera S wheels in black. Now this one, we, just to kind of show the attention to detail that we tried to pay, generally those will be a matte finish on the wheels. We painted them black rather than doing the matte because that way when you do the black door handle that we also added, you get the same texture on both. People are often, you know, they think, okay, I've got a bunch of black stuff on this car, so we'll add the black door handles, but then you end up with matte versus gloss, and it's kind of, you know, it doesn't flow very well. So we did the gloss there because we were doing the gloss here, and it just has kind of a better total package feel to it. So the wheels are one thing on the GTS. You also get the Sport Chrono package as standard. So all Boxsters, pretty much every Porsche, I guess, will have a Sport button, which will change your throttle response and shift points and things like that. When you get Sport Chrono, you get the option to go to Sport Plus, which dials that up a little bit further. And if it's a PDK car, you get launch control with that, if you want to race somebody at the lights. And you get what Porsche calls a Sport Response button, which is a little button on the steering wheel that you can press, and it's going to hold the back pressure from the turbos. It's kind of like a push-to-pass thing. You push it, the revs jump up, and you just kind of have all the power immediately. It's pretty cool. So that's standard on these cars as well. Sport exhaust is on them, as well as the PASM, the adjustable suspension. This one we optioned the Sport PASM, so it's lower still than just would be the standard one. 20 millimeters lower, as you may be able to tell even on film. It's super low down. So just a couple of things that are standard on the GTS that you'd have to add otherwise. Other stuff that we added to this car specifically would be, I'll start with the outside. One of my favorite touches is the painted roll bar. Right? This piece would generally just be matte black, just unpainted plastic, which is fine, but if you do just spend that little bit extra to paint it, again, it feels a little bit more cohesive, like I was talking about with the gloss. When that's all kind of, it just flows better, right? And then up front, we added the LEDs, which we're finding more and more, everybody wants them, and as the new cars are coming out, Porsche is making them standard. So on these ones where it's still optional, we tend to add it for our stock cars. So that's here, and they are dynamic. They'll turn with the steering wheel, they'll look further down the road, and they'll have the auto high beam function as well. So you've got those. Moving a little bit more to the inside, already mentioned the full leather, which is great. We also added the heated seats as well as the cooled seats. On the note of the seats, these are the two-way Sport Plus seats, which are standard on the GTS, and oftentimes people will come in and they'll say, okay, this is, you know, $100,000 car, but I don't have power seats. What's up with that? Well, a surprising amount of our customers, when they're ordering their own sports cars, just kind of from the ground up, they will option the manual seat rather than the power. There's a few benefits that you get. One of them is it's lighter, and if you're buying a sports car, you want it to be as light as possible. But also, it's much easier, much faster to adjust and to slide forward and back with these cars, because they're a coupe. The door opens very, very wide. All right, so if you're in your garage, or certainly if you're in a parking lot, you can't always open your door that wide to get out. In my own car, I have this seat, and you can just pull the lever, slide it all the way back, and then you've got a lot more room to swing your legs over. So there's some practicalities to the manual seat. More manual, it is two-way power, but mostly manual, as opposed to the power. So we put that seat in. We also added the Bose audio which will do on just about all the cars. If you're just a talk radio person, you don't need it, but if you're anything more than that, it's a substantial upgrade over the standard one. It is one that we pretty much always recommend. Also put in the entry and drive so that you can just touch the door handle to unlock it, and you don't have to plug your keys into the dash to start the car. We also put in Apple CarPlay. With the 718s now, you can choose to either have nothing at all, or what Porsche calls connected navigation, which is an integrated nav system, or you can have the Apple CarPlay, or both of those, you know, in conjunction with each other. But mostly we've been optioning just the CarPlay because it's a much cheaper option, and that way the maps are up to date all the time, right? You do have to use your data, of course, when you're using them, but we find most of our customers are going that way. And now on that system, on the CarPlay system, you used to only be able to use the Apple Maps, but you can use Google Maps on there now as well. So if you've got a prejudice against the Apple ones, like some people do, don't worry about it. You can use your Google Maps on there also, though only iPhone, Android Auto is not going to be compatible. Some other small stuff, we put the 2-zone climate control. It's a fairly small cabin, but still the 2-zone climate with the auto climate, which is optional. An important one though is the lane change assist, the blind spot warning. When the roof's down like this, obviously your sight lines are great, you can see everything, but as soon as it's up, just because of the nature of the top, you can't really see here. There's no window, right, like there would be on a coupe. So definitely important to have the blind spot warning, which will light up just kind of right here inside the car too, which is nice because it doesn't get covered by dirt or anything like that. You can always see it. So we put that in here, and we did the multifunction wheel so that you can control everything with the buttons on the wheel rather than the toggle, and also the GT steering wheel, which is a little bit smaller and really a must in my opinion. You wouldn't think so, but it makes a big impact. And then I may have mentioned off the top, but it is a PDK car. You can option the manual transmission as well, but we sell far more of the PDK, and it is, of course, much quicker. So that's a kind of a quick rundown of the car. There's a lot more to know about it and to kind of get excited about. But if you want to come down, we can go through all that cool stuff. A GTS is a pretty rare thing to have in stock, so we're excited to have this one. But yeah, please do come down, check it out, check out our other Boxsters and Caymans as the weather's getting nicer here. Thanks so much for watching.